Tank Dell, I think, is going to be a stud for the Houston Texans. This is one of my favorite players in the NFL right now, even though he hasn't taken a single NFL snap. You want to know why? Because he's a Florida boy. And you guys already know what those Florida boys do when they get to the league. They produce. Now, he was drafted in the 3rd round, coming out of the University of Houston, and word on the street is that him and CJ Stroud kind of hit it off at the NFL Combine. So when the NFL draft came around and Houston took CJ Stroud 2nd overall, CJ Stroud made some phone calls and he pulled some strings. He said, hey, man, make sure you get my boy Tank Dell down to Houston. So the 3rd round rolls around and the Texans end up taking my guy Tank Dell. Now, don't let his size fool you. All right, he's 5'8", 165 pounds, but this guy is a real football player. Tank Dell is him. This guy, in my opinion, was the best route runner coming out of this past year's draft. Did you not see what he was doing at the Senior Bowl? I mean, this dude was getting busy. Nobody could guard this guy in the one-on-one individuals that they were doing at the Senior Bowl. And I know that one-on-ones pretty much favor the wide receivers, the cornerbacks and DBs most of the times to put in unfavorable situations in one-on-one drills. But Tank Dell's route running is something serious. Not just that, but this guy has elite quickness, shiftiness. If he gets the ball into his hands in the open field, you better watch out. And not just that, but he creates insane separation on all 3 levels. He's really good when it comes to running deep routes downfield. He can run the intermediate, the medium, the short range routes. He can do it all in this offense. You already know that the offensive coordinator that you have is going to be implementing that Kyle Shanahan West Coast style offense. And it's really important when you have an offense like this that's predicated on quick passes, getting the ball out fast, running the football, that you have elite route runners, and that's what Tank Dell is. And some of you guys are going to say, can you just chill out? Can we wait to see this guy play an NFL game? Bruh, you don't need to see a guy play an NFL game to know if he's an elite route runner or not. Have you not seen Tank Dell play? This dude's route running is second to none. You look at what he can do with CJ Stroud in this offense. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tank Dell have 1,000 yards right out the gate as a rookie if he ends up getting the starting nod in the slot. I think right now, on their current depth chart, Robert Woods is ahead of him, and Robert Woods is getting up there in age. He's slowing down. So hopefully Robert Woods doesn't take away from Tank Dell's shine, and Tank Dell gets some opportunities to show what he can do. And not just is he a good slot receiver, but he also is an elite punt returner and kick returner. So you're getting somebody who can have a big impact for you this year on the special team side of the football. I'm really excited to see what Tank Dell does his first season for the Houston Texans. Like, my comp for Tank Dell coming out was Wes Welker. And that may be some high praise because Wes Welker is probably the greatest slot receiver to ever play the game of football. But I believe that Tank Dell is that good. And the reason why I'm so confident that this guy's going to work out is because of how good of a route runner he is. When you look at every wide receiver that's been successful in the NFL, you know what they all have in common? They all are elite route runners. Most of them. Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. I can go on and on and on. I know not every wide receiver is a great route runner. You have guys like Tyreek Hill that are able to win with speed. Guys like DK Metcalf that are able to win with physicality. But I think that route running is one of the most important traits when it comes to trying to figure out how well a wide receiver is going to translate at the NFL level. And you look at Tank Dell, this dude's route running is insane. And even CJ Stroud said it. When he was talking about it, he was like, I really like your route run. I love how you run routes. Like, this dude, Tank Dell, is going to do some serious work for the Houston Texans. Now, he may not have a outstanding rookie season. He may not get a lot of opportunities this year because he has Robert Woods in front of him. But I feel within the next 2 to 3 years, Tank Dell is going to be in the conversation for being the best slot receiver in the NFL. Last season at Houston, he had 109 receptions. He had 1,398 receiving yards and 17 total touchdowns. And remind you that this guy is 5'8", 165 pounds. Like, he's like a mixture of Wes Welker and Devontae Smith. And the crazy thing about it is that if Tank Dell was like an inch taller, he was 5'9", or maybe 2 inches taller, he was 5'10", this guy probably could play outside receiver. He's that good. This guy has an amazing release package. It's really hard to jam this guy on the line of scrimmage. Even if you put a big physical corner on him, it's not going to be easy just to stop this guy at the line just because of how fast and how quick he's able to get in and out of his routes and in and out of his breaks. As long as he can stay healthy and he can add a little bit more meat on his frame, Tank Dell is going to be a stud for the Houston Texans. Like, I'm really effed up about Tank Dell. I probably got to go ahead and cop me a Tank Dell jersey. Just keeping it 100 with you guys. Like, I love Tank Dell, man. And I may be a little bit biased, just a tad bit biased. But I think that Tank Dell with CJ Stroud is going to be a really good quarterback wide receiver duo for the next years to come. And the Houston Texans overall, I think they're a little bit underrated. This team is not that bad. I think that the Houston Texans, year one under the D'Amico Ryans, possibly could win 7, maybe 8 games. The offensive line, I think, is coming along pretty well. I think with the addition of Tank Dell, you also got Xavier Hutchinson out of Iowa State. This offense should be able to cook. And this defense, we already know that the Texans are going to have an elite defense with D'Amico Ryans being a defensive-minded coach, coupled with the elite young talent that they have on that side of the ball. But I think that Tank Dell, man, this dude is going to be an absolute star for the Houston Texans. And if you are a Texans fan, you should be really excited about what Tank Dell brings to your offense. Elite route running creates a lot of separation on his routes. He's electric with the ball in his hands, and he can return punts and kickoffs for you. I'm really excited for what Tank Dell is going to bring to the Houston Texans organization for the next years to come.